Welcome to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 94 of The Joy of Coding. My name's Mike Conley. We're going to be, doing a number of things today. I'm actually not sure exactly what we're going to be doing today. I think we're going to be working on some Rust stuff, but I might have some ideas on other things we can do first. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the agenda. I'm going to share my screen. I'm also going to, my camera is a little off center here. Let me just, whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, let me share my screen. Bam! There's my screen. This is not the agenda. This is the agenda. What are we doing today? If this is your first time watching, I want to remind you, no plan survives breakfast. This is kind of like an idea of what I want to do today. I'm not entirely sure this is how it's going to go down, but it might. And this agenda actually is available to you if you're watching this on Air Mozilla. It's in the additional links section. I've put it there already. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is in the video description. If you're watching this on Twitch, it's also in the video description. And if you're if you're watching this on Facebook, I've commented below the video. If you're watching it on Twitch, I'm actually about to put the link to the agenda, bam, in the Twitch chat right now. I'm going to do the same thing for the rating form, so you can rate this episode. I want to know what you think. Bam. Okay. So those are in the Twitch chat now. And these links, I was supposed to put in links to the other versions of the stream, because yeah, you can watch this on Facebook and you watch it on Twitch. And I forgot to do that. So hold on, let me just quickly put those in there. Here's the link. Whoop. There's the link. First thing, Happy International Women's Day. I'm not sure if you knew, but it's International Women's Day. So just a big shout out to all the folks out there who are celebrating and you know are particularly doing stuff in tech. I mean, like the rest of the world, absolutely, but like because I work in tech, I'm giving a special shout out to the women who work in tech and the stuff they have to go through, and hopefully we will make things better for you over time. Fingers crossed. Uh, the second thing I want to say is, a thing landed. So last week we were working on some JavaScript stuff, and uh, the the patch finally, after a couple of attempts to land, it bounced a bunch of times. It finally landed yesterday. So now, if you get a build, today's nightly build, any day after today, it should have the fix, and I'm going to demonstrate that fix right now. So if you recall, this was the problem where if I had some JavaScript, I bump up the font here. If I had some JavaScript running on a page that was just like busy forever, so I'm running like a perma while loop here. I can't even update my painting properly. I'm just stuck. The main thread is locked. Well, if we were to open up a tab, now this might take a couple of tries because I've got E10S multi enabled, which means I'll open up multiple content processes. But so this first one will probably work okay, but the next one probably won't because of the round robin. I'm pretty sure it's round robin. We open a tab. I don't know. Is it not round robin? You know what? It might be actually just a random selection. So just give me a sec. We gotta keep opening these tabs until we get one that breaks for us. Come on. Wow, that's incredible. There, this one's breaking. Okay. So before we would, if we were like an external application like your mail client or something would open a tab, if the main thread in the content process was blocked, we'd be showing a spinner here, but we don't. We show blank instead, and we can still switch tabs, and we don't have the delay that we had before with switching tabs. But now if I stop the script, I can get I can continue to browse the web. So that's an improvement we made last week. Hopefully we'll see some motion in our graph. I have a graph here that calculates how many people are affected by tab switch spinners and tab switch delay. That graph has been pretty steady as of late. There was a little bump here when we enabled E10S multi, and I think that's because Sometimes whenever you open a new tab, you'll start a new content process, and we were showing a spinner in that case too because we couldn't force paint if the content process wasn't ready. And so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that once we start getting data for today's build, which might take a couple of days for that to show up in here, we'll see a nice fall off. We might get back down here to the high 30s, maybe even lower. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll know by next week. Certainly by next episode, but even in a couple of days, hopefully we'll be able to get a sense of it. Okay, so that's that was the update I wanted to give there. Um, the thing I wanted to do, so I wanted to work on some more Rust stuff. So we've been working on this IPDL parser thing. I'd gotten some feedback, and we weren't even close to being done. But I wanted to work on that a little bit, and that was one thing I wanted to do. But before we do that, I want to look at a profile because someone sent me mail and they asked me to look at a profile, so I'm going to look at it live. Now, what I mean by a profile, a performance profile is what I'm talking about, where we're going to look at a captured profile where we can see that Firefox is running slowly, and I want to look at this and maybe try and draw some inferences, make some deductions about why something is slow. So I was need info on this bug. Let me just pull it out of my notes here. I'm actually going to drop it into the agenda so you can go there too. Looking at a profile, and this is that just a little synchronized there. So if you're looking at the agenda, you can just refresh and you should hopefully have a link now. And so, whoops, did I just close Evernote? No, I did not. Okay. Let's go take a look at this profile and see what is going on. Fat Fox consuming 2.2 gigabytes. So these people in here are dealing with a memory leak, and I've got some profiling here. So what is Vlad B saying? This is where you need to info me. After the latest comments, I've tried again to reproduce the issue. The scenario was, open 3 tabs with Facebook, 9gag, and YouTube. After that, I've started to scroll through the Facebook and 9gag content very fast. After that, I went to YouTube and played long videos, so about 40 to 50 minutes, and clicked on the video progress bar at random positions and then repeated the steps from scrolling. After 10 to 20 minutes, the browser started to hang, and the content is very slowly loaded or not at all. Memory used was about 2.2 gigabytes and CPU was at 20 to 25%. Here are a few Firefox profiles used the Gecko profile. And this is with AdBlock Plus and Ethernet on. Here's one without AdBlock Plus and Ethernet on. However, I've also managed to reproduce the Ghost Windows issue with and without AdBlock Plus and uBlock Origin on Firefox release 51.0.1 and on 52, on or off. By adding a few more steps after the above issue was reproduced and I did multiple Gecko profiles, maybe they will help. The extra steps, open About Memory and tab. After the browser becomes slow and laggy, I've closed the Facebook, 9gag, and YouTube tabs, leaving only the About Memory opened. In the task manager, Firefox uses about 800 gigabyte of memory. After the tabs are closed, I clicked on the measure button and there were ghost windows. So it's I guess the question is whether or not these ghost windows are occurring. This is something I might point McCrate or Eric Rom at, but ghost windows might just be like garbage collecting. Well, I'm not sure if getting rid of ghost windows happens immediately or whether or not we sometimes wait a while and wait for the browser to become idle before we clear out ghost windows. Uh, You can absolutely take a picture of how hardcore this looks. I'm in a hardcore environment right now, and Jalen is taking a photo of me.
Okay, I will send this to you so you can post it.
Please, I will post it. Thank you. Um, so I will be posting that photo to my Twitter feed if you care to see what this rig looks like. So let's take a look at this profile. So there's a lot going on in here. There's a lot of information. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it more easily. I've got one content process, and I've got a main process here, and I can see that the main thread in the content process, that's represented by this red line, which maps to this histogram here, is blocking on the main thread a lot. So that's the performance issue. And if I look at the performance issue, it looks like there's a lot of like Facebook stuff happening. A lot of Facebook stuff. But there's also, yeah, it's still more Facebook stuff. Back up. Like, what is happening in here? There's a lot of JavaScript. It's mostly JavaScript that's happening in here. And if I look at the running time, there's this JavaScript on this Facebook page. I'm not actually seeing a whole lot of garbage collection. Oh, but I am seeing sync messages. Aha! From what? Policy. Port. Exports should allow. Policy implementation should load. Extensions. So there's this extension here with this ID. What is this ID? D10D OBF8. Let's take a look at the E10S rollout policy. D10D. That's AdBlock Plus. So AdBlock Plus is sending synchronous messages. So that's one thing. And I otherwise see a lot of like click event handler, auto scroll loop. It's just saying there, sending half a second is being spent sending synchronous messages of some kind. Here we're also sending a synchronous message. And there's also this. We're painting. We're also garbage collecting a bit here. Remind me again why I'm sending a synchronous message. Why would you do that? Messaging. So I can report about that, I guess. What else? Is there anything else useful in here I can report? I wonder. Uh, Whoopsie daisy. Up to the top. Sending sync messages. Like, what is this block here? What is this? What are we doing? We're just like running JavaScript from Facebook. It's causing sync layout. What about here? More JavaScript from Facebook. That's causing us to send sync messages. Okay. So a lot of this is sync messages, it looks like. What about here? This is, we're creating an element. pictures without AdBlock Plus. This profile is without AdBlock Plus. But here the tab thread is still busy. Yeah, we're attempting to garbage collect a lot in there. So let me write my findings here. The first profile, I can see that AdBlock Plus is using synchronous messages from the content process to the parent process to make policy decisions on whether or not certain things should be loaded. That consumes about a half a second of the entire profile. Let me see. How much of this is garbage collection though? GC. Collect. I do see quite a bit of garbage collection going on in both profiles. It's a little harder using the new Cleopatra since I don't have the handy labels that just show me where garbage GC is occurring. Um, Sounds like we might have a leak here. McRae, are the steps? Hey McRae, are the steps in comment 81 enough? Are the steps in data in comment 81 enough to uh, actionable? Redirect the need info to McRate. Bam! Okay, so that's what I want to do there. And speaking of McRate, McRate is also working on that fun project, which is the IPDL parser in Rust. And so I think what I want to do now is see if he's done any changes to the code lately, and if so, pull and rebase on top of them. So let's go take a look. This is where he's got the code stashed. 23 days ago, so no changes. In that case, we can just plow ahead, trying to remember where we are. Cargo build. Are we even in a built state? Maybe I'll just do cargo test. Let's see if we're in a built and functional state. So Jalen has sent me the hardcore picture. I'm going to show it to you right now. Hold on a second. Um, 1 second. Let me put it on the internet. Quick second. Streaming. this out! Exclamation mark. So now you can see this photo. Hey, we are in a running state, or uh, a passing test state. So this is what I just tweeted. Um, where are we? I think just here we go. Bam! That's me. That's where I'm at. You can see all my stuff going on. That's my. I've got. I've put a sort of a weird green screen. So we have these rolly whiteboards. I just throw some green fabric over it. That's how that works. This is the machine over here that I use to make sure my stream's working with my little Windows 10 laptop. I have some leftover. I had some lunch here. This is the tablet I use to kick off sounds.
It's me, Mario!
And my phone's here for tweeting. And yeah, that's my camera, and that's the whole rig. That is what's going on. So if you're curious, I can link to that tweet in the notes. Jalen took a photo of me streaming. Bam, there it is. Okay, so we are in a working state in Rust World. But if I recall correctly, one of the problems, uh, let me, I think, yeah, IPDL parser here. I'm gonna close some of these files I've got open. I got a lot of stuff open right now. I'm gonna close that up. Gonna close that up. Gonna close all these things. Cancel, cancel. I might want to keep these open. I'm gonna close some of these other things. Okay, so what we're inside this thing called parser, and no, not parser, compiler. And one of the pieces of feedback that I got from my work so far, is that the lowering stuff. So I think converting to C++ is called lowering. The lowering stuff should go into a separate file, which could be called lower.rs to match the existing code. Compiler.rs is intended as a top-level thing that calls the various phases. So, um, so he's saying maybe we should extract some of these functions I'm writing out into lower.rs, and we will do that. We'll maybe even do that this episode, but before we do that, I want to solve this other problem, which, if I recall correctly, has to do with indentation. Yeah, here. We don't properly indent um, multiple, in this case, messages. So we have got these indented messages that I want to put in. I have this function called indent, and I'm supposed to be putting an indent, like a couple of spaces in front of, like depth number of spaces in front of each new line, or after each new line. And that doesn't appear to be working. It only works for the first one. So maybe I haven't made the replacement global? Hmm. So let's take a look at what goes in and what comes out. So, well, first of all, what am I saying here? I'm saying, hey, let's create this static reference to a regular expression that is this. This regular expression is match beginning of the string, or wait, no, is that beginning of the string? That might be my problem right there. Beginning of the string, uh, am I, trying to remember what this means. But over here, it's anything that's not a new line and not a hash, hash might be for pragma, like one of those if-def things. We don't want to indent those. So I wonder if this is my problem. Let's see. What's a good regular expression? Regular expression. Well, we were looking at this before. Codegen.py actually had this implemented in it. And the regular expression, I'd think, would map from one to the other, but clearly it doesn't. But let's see why. Let's see if we can find out why. Def indent, I believe that is what it was called here. And then in line start detector is this, which is RE multi-line. That's interesting. Compile RE multi-line. I don't think I've done this part. So what does this mean? Maybe there's a way I can say replace all and tell it multi-line. So let's take a look at the crate for regular expressions. Multi-line are not Unicode aware in multi-line mode. So there's a multi-line mode. Start of line with multi-line mode. I want to, how do I, okay, groupings and flags, multi-line mode. That's what I want. I want multi-line mode. And so how do I enter multi-line mode? All flags are by default disabled unless stated otherwise. Flags are each a single character. For example, question mark X sets the flag X, and question mark minus X. Multiple flags can be set and cleared at the same time. So question mark M is, I think, what we want here. Question mark M. Let's see what that does. See if that indents our multi-lines. And if so, hey, we've solved the problem, and then we can start moving the stuff into another file like McCrade wanted. So let's see what happened. No, it did not work. Child message, parent message, both message. So this is apparently how you case insensitive. How do you do multi-line mode? Let's look and see if there's an example on the internet somewhere. Rust, regex, multi-line mode. This has nothing to do with Rust. This is just in general. Some kind of ad there. Use the modifier. How do I add I think so groupings and flags. Flags are each a single character. Sets a flag, multiple flags can be set clear at the same time. All flags are by default disabled. Where did I put this flag? Did I put it? I should probably put it before. That's what I think I probably need to do. Because I'm turning the flag on before I match the first character. That was my issue, I think. Fingers crossed. Drum roll, please. And yes, we have multiple indentations here.
Okie dokie.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so that's what we wanted to do. Let's commit this. Hang on a second. Okay, so let's move on. That's quite good. Um, do I want to? Does this need documentation? I wonder. Like these regular expressions are always just like a. Yeah, I think I should probably document this. Our regular expression here is a multi-line, is in multi-line mode and matches the first character if it isn't a new line or a or a hash. We skip indenting those. This seems to be the best way of creating repeated character strings in Rust currently. Okay, and then replacement. So let's document this. Can we, well, there's no real documentation standard that we create set in here. Maybe one of, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating my own file. I'm going to call it lower.rs. We're going to move all this stuff in there. And then maybe we can start our own kind of like documentation in there. So let's create a new file. We're going to call it lower.rs. We're going to save it in here. And I'm going to bring in all of this stuff that I've been writing in compiler. So indent, template, compile, translation unit, all of that stuff is going to go into lower.rs. What's this? Compile. Okay. This thing. I'm going to put this at the top of lower.rs. Wait, is that might need to be shared. Hmm. Yeah, I think that needs to be shared because this makes use of it. So use lower message start header and message type definitions. Well, there's no alphabetical order here, at least as far as I can see. A, and then S, and then P, QRS, P, QRS, TV, P, QRS. space, I think. Yeah, one space. And then I'll put that here. Okay. And inside lower, we have these things. I don't know if I need to like export them. How do I? I think I have to pub them, make them pub const. Is that how I do it? GitHub.com. Let's see what servo does. I'm sure servo does stuff like this. Pub const? Yes. Pub const. Test namespace. Perfect. Is there anything else I need to put at the top of this file? Let's see. License. License header. And then compile translation unit. I think we also need to bring that into compiler. Translation unit. Apparently the mic sounds lower than usual. Holy smokes. I'm sorry, is this super quiet? Oh no. Input. Where's check 1 2. Is my gain down? Why would my gain be down? Oh! No, is that better? Is that no? Is that any better? Check 1 2. How's my volume? Is any of this better? Thanks. Is this better? Check. Is this better? Let me know. Sorry if the volume is low. Is this better? Let me know. Let me know if this is better or if it's too low. Check 1 2. Speaking into microphone. Is this any better? Let's see. It's about the same, you say? Okay. Hup. Audio input capture 1. Nope, same. Okay, how about now? How about now? Any better? Any better? Why would this be why? Why? I'm apparently maxed out here. Why would OBS not check and hello check 1 2 check 1. No, not better. It is the same. Still bad. Jalen just came on. What can I do about the volume level here? Do I have maybe like a little volume control I accidentally bumped? Is this any better? No, that doesn't appear to be doing anything. Could it be the stream volume? Apparently it's a little bit better. How are the sounds though? Like, are these about the normal sound volume like these? Is that about the right level? Check 1 2. What is going on? What's the dealio? Smurf D, the sound is good. The mic is low. Okay, we can solve this. How am I gonna? So that means that it's OBS. And let me just quickly run into my settings. Sample rate, audio device, capture. I'm just gonna crank the gain. I'm gonna crank the gain on this thing. Oh wait, what's super loud? Is Jalen? Are the sound effects super loud? Or my voice? Here, I'm also gonna let me just try a thing. Try unplugging and replugging in the USB headset. Okay, here goes. This might break everything. I hope OBS is okay with this. Check. Yeah, I can tell right away that that's much louder. Good call, Jaylin. Good call. That is quite a bit louder. Let me back that off there. Hopefully, is that tolerable? All right. That worked. Thank you so much, Jaylin. Let me just make sure my sound effects also continue to work. I can hear them. I cannot hear them. Maybe you can. Let me just quickly fix that. There we go. Sorry, I'm kind of talking in two channels, says Jalen. Smurf D, the one who originally messaged me about this, is the volume better for you? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Smurf D says it works. Bam! All right, sorry about that, folks. Sorry if it was a little bit quiet to start. That was my bad. I apologize. USB headsets, am I right? Am I right? Okay, so now that I've got the I've got compile translation brought out, and I'm importing it here from lower. I don't know if there's anything else I need to do. I probably need to include low pub module compiler. Do I need to do that in here? Pub module compiler. Probably not. I don't think I need to put that inside lib. Parser, pubmod, parser, compiler. Maybe I do actually. Pubmod lower. Because I might want to test it anyways, and well, I might want to expose it via library. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see if this compiles. Let's just see if this compiles. Cargo build. All right. Does not compile. All red. This has never heard of this before. Compile message start header. Probably because I haven't made it public inside here. Pub function. Pub function. Okay, so that's a little bit better. What? I need to see the messages here. Oh, no, still not a whole lot better. Compile message start header. I said it was a pub function, but that's apparently not enough. Oh, that's because this is the wrong function. Compile translation unit is not the right function. Should be compile message start header. So it should be this, then this one as well. Pub and this one. And then in compiler, I need to bring in the other ones. Compile message start header. Compile message type definitions. Still doesn't like it for other reasons though, I think. Yeah, it's never heard of a bunch of things that I used to take that I was taking for granted before. So this is just a matter of bringing in the right imports. So path buff we need. So we have to say that we're using path buff. We have to say that we're using translation unit. That's over here. I'm eventually going to need all of them, so I'll just put them all in. Translation unit. I need a hash map. Hash map, where's hash map? That's this one from the standard library. These I'm going to put in alphabetical order. And then, what else? Hash map again, hash map again, hash map. Regex. Where's regex? I probably don't even need that in here. Yeah, I can just put that in lower instead. Use self regex and then extern crate regex. See what it thinks of that. Still doesn't like it, but it's a lot better. Use of undeclared type or module iter. So I missed one. This one. And that's from standard. Okay. And that it likes. Okay, we are building now. Uh, but still failing. Maybe a missing extern crate lower? It's never heard of lower message start header or lower message type definitions. It's never heard of any of these things. Huh. Why would that be? Oh, maybe because I have to put it in here as well. P-A-U-A-S-T pub mod lower. I think that's how that works. Yeah. Okay, so test and now no captured should just be the same thing that we had before, and then we're in the state where we've satisfied McCrate's request of just putting all the lower stuff into its own file. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Mamma mia!
Excellent. Okay. Hey, we're in a pretty good position here. Let's commit. What do we have? I think we have to add the new file. Git add source lower.rs. And then what's in our git log? Snapshot of current progress. I'm just going to commit amend that. Git commit amend. Okay. If I need to split it apart, I'll do it later. I'm still learning, and it's hard to like do these like little atomic changes while I'm still learning. So now let us proceed. We've got our message type definitions. We've got this part working, the message start header. I'm pretty sure that is working properly now. But what we could do is run tests for it. So if we give it a string, like we should, maybe we could like just write a really simple test. Yeah, let's do that. Now how do I want to do this? I'm gonna like inside here, I could like pass in just a vector of different messages and then yeah, test the couple of cases here. So how do you like write, I have to remember again, Rust unit tests. Mod, yeah, so mod config test. Well, you probably can't see that. Let me bring that up. Boop, 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 boop. Config test mod tests test function test compile message start header. Let's see. Panic. No message. So we have a case here where what if the messages, the number of messages is 0? We really don't expect that. So what I'm gonna do is say like if all messages, which is a vector. How do I find the length of a vector in Rust? I think it's is empty function length function len a dot len. So if all messages dot len, if not all messages dot len, panic. Let's see. I'm gonna say expected at least one message to be compiled. Now I'm pretty sure we'll still pass tests here. Let me comment all this out actually. I think there's a way of doing that. Nope. Nope. Selection. What is the keyboard shortcut for commenting something out? Comment, toggle comment. That's what I want to do. It's like command slash. Yeah. Bam. That's one. So cargo test. Let's run that real quick. We're panicking now if there are no messages. Oh, expected bool found usize. Okay, if can't coerce. Let's see. Failed. We failed. So we panicked in some case. Where did we panic? We panicked testing header.ipdlh. Um, where is it? Okay. Header.ipdlh. So we don't actually have any messages in here, and the test says that this should be allowed. So our assumption that we could just panic there is no good. So what we need to do then probably is to do something like, if there are no messages, then don't include any of them, just include the last message index. So what I'll do is indented messages, indent, all messages, join by a comma. And then I essentially want to put what do I want to do here? I want to make it so that the last one is just like the empty string. I want to put the empty string at the end of all messages, I think. So this needs to be mutable. Oh man. Join. Or really, what I want to do is add a comma after this. Messages. In map indented messages is messages as a string. What's the best way to do this? So here's what I'm trying to deal with. It's this comma at the end. I don't think I can. It's valid C++ if I like have nothing here and just a comma after it. I have to put something or nothing. So what I want to say is if there are no messages, don't put a comma after the last one, because that's what this comma is for, the last one, because join puts commas in between all of them, but doesn't add one for the last one. So messages equals indent, and that's a string. I'm gonna, if all messages when greater than 0, then rust string. I need to append a character using push. Messages.push. And then if we actually have some messages, put a comma after the last one. Okay, then we don't need that anymore. And then we shouldn't panic, or we should output. We should pass our test now. Is what I'm saying. So now that's gonna run. Oh, doesn't like that. Expected char found a reference. Oh, push. I gotta put this in single quotes, I guess. The old magical single quotes. Cannot borrow mutably. Cannot borrow immutable local variable messages. Oh, it's immutable. Let mute. That's what I'll do. Immutable by default. Probably for the best. Okay, we pass all tests. So now what I want to do is write another test. So if there are no messages, whoops. What? I've got multiple selections here. That's my problem. What's the way to do it? So I'm going to say, let's put a vector. Or how can I compare string equality? Rust string equality. Comparing strings. Oh, I can just like do assert equal on it. Okay. Assert equal compile that with vec nothing. That should fail. This should fail. As I'm saying, it's going to be the empty string, and that's not possible. Whoops, I have some syntax errors there. Unresolved name. Never heard of compile message start header. Didn't I define that somewhere? Compile message start header, right there. Do I have to like insert? Function assert. It works. Oh, I can probably just get rid of some of this other stuff and just like get rid of the module and do that. Let's try that. See if it'll like it. No, it doesn't like it. Expected a reference, found a structure. Expected a reference. So is that what you want? It is what you wanted. This should fail. should gloriously fail. Yep, failed. Pank, that assertion failed. Left, and then right. Yeah, all of these things that we wanted. And so we need to now compare it against the right stuff. So we'll do R, do, do, and then do, do, and just copy paste. So these should be equal. Excuse me. Failed. Left equals slash 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 n forward slash forward slash. Right equals slash slash n forward slash. By BL parser, do not edit these. I'm just like manually comparing these with my face. Define empty meshes start. And then there were two new lines. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being like this. Although, let's see. Indent and template, match, format, replace. Insertion is gonna be yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think it needs to be perfect, just needs to be like I'm fine if it we have that little extra new line there. Not gonna sweat it. Okay, Blue Jays. All right, and now I'm going to write another test where we're gonna put in a couple of messages. Test 1. Now, whenever I run cargo test, can I run just subsets of tests? Cargo test. Can I run? Can I run like other, like a subset? Test only this package's library. Test only this package. Test only the specified example. Benchmark package run test. Ah. Oh, error there. Oh, because I've already got one named the same way. Let's try that again. Doesn't like it still. Expected a standard string. To string. Okay, so that works. Good, and then we'll write one more to do a couple. Test, multiple. Test 1, test 2, test 3. So it should be test 1, test 2. test 3. Well, that's building. We might also want to write tests for the indenter. What's a good way of like organizing these? Pub function mod test config use super. I missed that. So that's what I'll do is I'm going to put these in their own module. And then indent this. And indent this. Indent this. And then put the end of the module here. And that should also still run. And now we can test a couple things. We'll test our indent function. We'll do that next. So function test indent. Cert equal foo test string indent test string to string. We're going to indent twice. Although I've got this convention, I've established it in the lower test to put the expected as the second argument. So let's do that. We'll call that a test. And we'll call, I don't know, we can say test simple. Wow. We can do a couple things, a couple of assertions in here maybe. Whoop. Doesn't like it. Indent expected 2 parameters. Whoa, yeah, that's what happened. Cert equal. Let's do multi-line. Another line to be equal to actually, let's do it this way. This line is the starting line. This is another line. This is a if def something or other. And if and a final line. And then we'll close it out with cert that is equal to this is the starting line. This is another line. If def something or other. I should probably spell something right up here. And then end if. Hey, what do you know? And this will be then and a final line, period. Oh, couldn't compile this one due to expected stir. Oh, I don't have to do toString on the first argument. Okay, great, I think. Whoop. Mismatched types, starting here, ended here. Found struct. Oh, okay, I don't need this one either, apparently. It's happening. It's happening. Failed. So this failed. Why? So left is space space backslash space space new line space space. This is the starting line. So first of all, there were. That's what it's seeing. There was like an initial line there. This is another line. Something or other. Hey, what do you know? Okay, let's try that. Still failed. Okay, so left is space space backslash. This is the starting line. And then on the right it's backslash space space. Why do we even have that backslash there? Does that backslash even need to be there? Oh, it's needed for this forward slash? Does that need to be there? I don't know if it does. I don't know if it does. I don't think it does. Let's get rid of it. I think that was a copy paste error. Let's see what it thinks of that. Run the tests. Excellent. Okay. So tested indent. I want to test template as well. Test template. Because I've got my template function up here. And then maybe we can start documenting a couple of these things. And then maybe we'll start on compile message type definition. Actually, let's do this one next. I don't want to bore you by writing these tests. Let's do something exciting. I'll write these tests later. So let's try something more exciting. Compile message type definitions. So this is something that um, will take in. Whoop, whoop! I'm getting messaged. Trying to find a method available that can decompress data synchronously. I just confronted work 10 years ago. So someone is asking me about decompressing stuff on the main thread. So let's draw the chat in here. Hey, live hacking. But I'll try to answer. What are you trying to decompress? Like, just some stuff that's zipped? Okay, while waiting for that. So we've done IPC message start. What we're doing now is IPC message type name. So that's these things. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to yank this out and then drop it into lower and then use it as our template. Let s equal template r. And then code generated by IPDL parser. Do not edit. And then we put the names of the messages in here, I think. And then we have this giant switch that's going to look at each message. So these are the parts that I need to do insertions right here and right here. Okay. Meanwhile, no contact there. Oh, JSON. Trying to something that's zipped. I have some data I'm storing to disk and want to see if compressing it improves performance. So I want to compress it. Any type of compression is fine, but I need to read it synchronously. Oh. So zlib scripting. Zlib. Deflate. I think Kripken compiled zlib to JS with mscripting. Maybe you could try that. Let me find it for you. Sec. Zlib.js. Zlib.js mscripting. JS deflate. Where's the output? Raw inflate, deflate. Alternatively, clib.js. Come on, what is? Also want this overall to be faster than a sync IO of the uncompressed form. Are we talking about Omnija here? Alright, the above libraries should be well, you might try one of these hand-rolled compression libraries, or find a one of these JS compression libraries. They seem to do it synchronously. Thanks for the links, no problem. Okay. Time's at 2:25. Our tests are passing there. I'm a little worried, actually. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on in here? This is a mess. What happened to this file? What happened in here? There was... must have hit some key combination that just went crazy. I'm worried because my templating doesn't allow me to do things like loops. If I'm repeating myself a lot, I might end up having to like create a bunch of these like sub templates essentially, which I'm not too stoked about. Let's see what lower dot or codegen.py does. Again, we'll look for inspiration. Well, it's probably doing like sub templating. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. It creates a bunch of sub templates and then injects those templates into... Well, let's try and do that. What's the format here? Start and then underscore message, the name of the message. So it's like the namespace and then compile type definitions. How's that work? That's called from compiler. All message strings. Wonder if we don't have enough information here. We might have to pass more because I think we need the namespace, because that's what I think this is. In the empty case, for example, it was called, the name of the protocol was called empty. And so I don't know if we have enough information here. All message strings. We just append a bunch of messages. We don't have enough information. We need to know the protocol as well as the message. Okay. Is there anything else we need to know? We need the protocol, the name of the message. As this grows, I wonder what's going to happen here. Is this number going to change or shift? Empty message start. It's empty message start. Oh, is that what we... Yeah, that's what we put in here. So we don't have it exactly right, actually, our original. We have to go back. I think we've got it a little wrong. This should be message test one start, I think. And then start child? And this too, we need like empty in this case is the name of the protocol. So empty message. So I think we need actually more information here. Let's take a look at what we generate for Firefox currently. Yeah, message start, message start child, all of these things. So these pairs, message start child. This protocol, file handle message start. Background file handles. That's the protocol, message start child. And so these, per protocol, we get one of these. Per protocol. So it's not just the messages, it's the protocols. Okay. So I kind of screwed the pooch a little bit here. We need to we don't need the messages themselves, at least not until later. We need the messages themselves for IPC message type name, I think, message type name.cpp. So it didn't fully screw the pooch. I think. Do we even IPC message type name? Is that even used? IPC message type name. CD. Come on. I need an example of it being generated. Sources. Not IPC message type name. So what about dxr.mozilla.org? Do you know about IPC message type name? Maybe I should look at an example in my own tree. Central obj. Find it. Find it. Gotcha. So, what do you look like? IPC message type name. So you have every single message. Every single message. And that includes, we've got the starts. And And then do we have like start child message p apz start? Do we have empty message start child? Empty message start child? Do we have any of those? Those aren't referred to in here, but we do have PAPZ start equals PAPZ message start. We shift it. And then all of these, delete all these messages. Request content repaint. And then over here, another protocol starts. So a couple of key pieces of information. We definitely need to know the protocol. I'm pretty sure PAPZ. So I'm guessing there's a protocol called PAPZ in the tree. Why, yes, there is. There's a delete message, a message, and a reply. It's a little more complicated than I thought. So we need to, or I need to, I should, well, you're with me on this. I think we need to modify compile message start header and prepare for compile message type definitions. We didn't do this exactly right. We got a lot of the foundational stuff that we need in order to like insert stuff into this space, which we definitely need to do. But I don't think we're doing we're not producing the right results based on what we're passing in. And we might not even be passing in enough information. So we're going to have to deal with that. But I think we're going to do that next week because we're at time. So thank you so much for watching episode 94 of The Joy of Coding. I'm sorry that the volume was a little bit down at the beginning. I apologize. I'll do my best to make sure that the volume is correct next time. And let's go back to my camera. So that's it. Joy of Coding 94. I got 6 more episodes until the 100th episode. Next week, I'm hoping to have a list of bugs that you can vote on. Bugs that have high amounts of votes in Bugzilla. I'm going to like curate a list of bugs, maybe 3 or 4 or something. And then you, the viewers, can vote on them. For my 100th episode, I will then work on one of those bugs. And we'll see how far we get. Probably not very far, but we'll see. And I'll try and explain it as I go. Okay, well, take care. Have yourself a great week, and a happy International Women's Day. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.